Alright, so we're 10 days through April. I have seen two new releases. One of them is a new MonsterVerse movie, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. The other one released this past weekend titled Monkey Man. Today I'm going to review those two movies. I'm going to do Godzilla x Kong first, then Monkey Man. Before I get started, please make sure to tell me down below in the comment section, what is your guys' opinions on these two movies? Which one was your favorite? Are they high up on your list of 2024 movies? I want to know all that more. While you're down there, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers before July. So if you're in here and you're watching this, please hit that subscribe button if you want to see very much more rankings, videos, reviews, all that and more. And with that said, we're going to get started talking about Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. When the first trailer dropped, I was nervous as heck. I told myself, that looks terrible. That looks way too goofy. Looks like it's fun, but not for me. I didn't think I would like the movie. And then I rewatched the MonsterVerse, and it dawned upon me that this is possibly the best cinematic universe out there. It's the one that takes its time with all its projects. Every other project makes sense in the continuity that we get in the universe. And every single project just has its unique style. My last ranking I did back in 2021 when Godzilla vs. Kong came out, I said that I didn't like the universe because I wasn't the biggest fan of all those movies. When I rewatched them, I found newfound love for them. And so then we got that second trailer, and I told myself that it looked like a freaking blast ever since that second trailer. Still don't like that first trailer, but the second trailer was fun. And if you like that second trailer, you're gonna like this movie. Because, my God, I had a blast with it. Man. When I first got out of the theater, or I didn't go see it in the theater, but when I first walked off my couch from watching Godzilla vs. Kong in 2021, I didn't like it. I had to watch it again, still didn't like it. And so over the years, I found a newfound hate for the movie. I just haven't liked the movie since then. When I rewatched it, I liked it much more before, but there's still always this little seriousness. There's this level of seriousness that the movie is trying to give you. This one just freaking goes for it. There are scenes that for like 10 minutes on end, we'll just get King Kong or Godzilla doing whatever they want, and it's super fun. It's just a super fun movie. If you turn your brain off, you'll have a blast with it. Nothing in this movie makes sense. There's not a single thing in this movie that I think made sense whatsoever, and that's part of the fun. Because, man, when we have these characters doing these super dumb things like, hey, King Kong could get a robot arm. We have one of them. Hey, why don't we go to the Hollow Earth and start walking around in this weird cave for no reason? Hey, why don't we bring Mothra in? It's so incredibly stupid that you can't help but have fun with it. And there's always something cool about the trailers here, because the trailers didn't spoil a lot of the things. There are so many surprises in the movie. When I was in the theater, I was like, whoa, okay, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. That wasn't in the trailer. I did not see that coming. Because the movie just doesn't care. It doesn't care about logic. It doesn't care about any sense of realism. It cares about a movie where giant monsters have a WrestleMania. It's super fun. It is really fun. The monster design's obviously great. The visual effects is fantastic. The monster action is insanely fun to watch. King Kong, he has kind of his own character arc here where he is lonely and he comes to find that there's more apes, and then he has to defeat them because they're evil. So he has a start of a character arc, but by the time we get to the end of it, there really wasn't anything left for him to do. But I still thought it was, again, this movie's stupid, and it's insanely fun for that reason. The cast here is great. Dan Stevens is literally an Ace Ventura in this universe. He is absolutely funny and absolutely charming in the role. He's fun. I'm gonna put her name on the screen because I don't know her name, but here's her name. She's much better than Millie Bobby Brown. No hate to Millie Bobby Brown, I like her and all, but I think that this is the lead of this MonsterVerse that we can get behind, because even she's got a little bit of a character arc there, and that's the one thing that kind of was real, as I kind of like the character arc that she goes through on there as well. So, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. One more thing here, actually. The Scar King, is probably, I think, the best villain in the Monsterverse. I really, really liked him. Every time he's on screen, there's a presence that he can do whatever he wants. And he was genuinely terrifying. I'm not sure if he's my favorite Monsterverse villain. It's either him or King Mothra, I think. But I really did like him as a villain. Shimu was cool as well. So, great villains. Overall, the movie's just an absolute blast of 2 hours to sit in the theater, not know what the heck's going on, but turn off your brain and enjoy it. And I had fun for that reason. I probably would have given it 5 stars and maybe just an A+ for gaining that, but I do think there are a couple scenes in the end that could have just been shaved completely off and cut the runtime to like an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and a half. It did start to feel overlong near the end. But I mean, if you have a movie where you're sitting down and you have this much fun watching giant monsters beat the tar out of each other, I mean, you can't really give solid criticism to this movie. It doesn't make sense. There's nothing that felt real, but it's an absolute blast, and it's something that I really hope a lot of people go to the theater to see. And so for Godzilla x Kong, I'm giving an A. And a lot of people are going to the theater to see. I can't wait for the next Monsterverse thing. I thought this was a very solid sequel and much better than Godzilla vs. Kong. I highly recommend it. I had a blast. Let's talk about Monkey Man now. The movie premiered at South by Southwest just a couple weeks ago. I didn't go. I want to go next year. But it got glowing praise. It's the only movie in that whole festival that got a standing ovation. And it just got a lot of praise coming out of South by Southwest. So when the first trailer dropped, I watched it that night when I was going to see Argyle. I thought, yeah, that looks like fun. Indian John Wick, obviously. So I was looking forward to watching the movie. Went to see it this past Saturday, and it's fine. It's not anything super special. It's not anything that I absolutely adore. It's not my favorite movie of the year. It's not even top 5 for me this year. I just thought it was fine. It was a fine movie. The positives here, the action is really great sometimes. The first long half-an-hour action sequence, I felt like there were so many individual pieces in there. Some of them felt real messy, then some of them felt cool, like the axe fight in the club. I thought that one was really cool, but then like a lot of it was super messy. But then like there's cool sequences there. It was entertaining, but it felt like there could have been more, if that makes sense. But when we get to the final action fight scene as he's going through the hotel, it's an absolute blast. It's in the kitchen, the fight scene that we've seen so heavily in the trailer. It's so bloody and fun and intense throughout that entire action scene in the end that it just, through that scene, I was thinking, this is what I came to this movie for. This is what I wanted out of this movie, and this is what I'm getting. It goes on for like 15-20 minutes, and it's just a fun action sequence. I really liked it. Dev Patel is the lead guy here, and I thought he did good. This is his directorial debut as well, and I thought he was solid. It's a solid one. Of course, better camera work for the action sequences. Thought that would be better. Better way to where, in the middle of the movie, which we'll talk about, not to make me bored. But he did a solid job for his first movie that he's doing. A big thing here that I don't really talk about that much is that this is a simple revenge thriller. Obviously, somebody killed someone close to him, and so he's off to get revenge. I think the backstory, why he's off to get revenge, is particularly interesting and more interesting than a lot of other movies with the same exact plot. Every time we went back inside his memory and just explored why he's going after these guys, I thought it was super intense and super spooky, and I was like, oh, that's really neat. And the thing is, it doesn't do anything special. It's just that they killed his mom, so he wants to kill them. But like that sequence was just done so good that every time I think about this movie, that's the thing that sticks out. Yeah, he had a really good backstory. That was one of the best parts about this movie, I think. So it's a solid movie. It's a solid watch. I love the blood. I love the gore. When it's an action movie, it's everything I came to the theater to see. When it's just bloody and violent, unfortunately, there's only 2 action sequences in the movie. And that'd be fine, because like I said, the story and why he's doing this is compelling. But the middle of the movie is not at all. It's quite frankly boring. when we get to the part after the first action sequences, he goes to these people and then he starts to train. And that's another positive too. I like how he's not just a super killer guy that, oh, I'm like John Wick. I can kill people whenever I want. I like that he's kind of just this guy going on revenge, but he gets his butt kicked, and so he has to train for it. I think that was a unique thing too, that he's not just a super assassin from the start. You got to see him progress, and that was really interesting as well. But when we get to the area where he's starting to train and go into his mind, everything that wasn't about his backstory or him training was boring. It's just like, yeah, and then our people do this, and this, and this, and this. And it's like, you got to explain to us what these characters' goals are, and it just severely drags the movie down. I was not entertained throughout this whole sequence. In fact, I kind of started sitting back like, I'm getting bored. Can we move on to the next action sequence, please? So it just frankly slows to crawl for 20 minutes, and then we get the backstory and the training part. But after the backstory and the training part, it just kind of slows to crawl for another 10 minutes until we head into the finale sequence. And so it has some severe pacing issues that when I was in the theater, I just kind of wish that it shaved a lot of that off or wasn't in the movie at all, because to me, they only served a purpose to drive our main character forward. They were cool when they were in the end and kicking some serious butt, but when we have to waste time on what I really wanted to go to the movie to see on just this prolonged sequence that is not entertaining, that's an issue. So I thought the movie's fine. It's entertaining when it can be, but also it really drags in the middle. I would say that if you like movies like this, it is worth seeing in the theater. I wouldn't say it's like the movie that you need to go in the theater. I'm saying if you're choosing a movie to go to the theater, go see Godzilla x Kong: The Frozen Empire, because it's a blast. But if you've seen that one and you want to go to the movies, Monkey Man's a fine time. I'm giving it a B. I mean, I had issues with it, but I still had fun with it. Stay tuned for a Monsterverse ranking coming soon. Before that, I'm doing a Ghostbusters ranking. That will be my next video. And on my second channel, I'll do my haul for the month and then what I watched in the month. I'm starting that series back up again. So thank you guys for clicking on this video. Subscribe, like button, hit the bell, comment down below. What did you think of Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire and Monkey Man? And with that said, subscribe, join the Nerd Army. Peace out.